The crushing weight of Exegol's perpetual storm pressed down, a fitting shroud for the secrets it held. Darth Vader stood on a precipice, not of rock, but of perception. The air here was thick with the concentrated essence of the dark side, a palpable hum against his internal sensors, deeper and more ancient than any he had ever encountered. He had been drawn by a faint, almost imperceptible whisper on the Force, a summons so subtle it felt like a dream, yet potent enough to demand his presence. His master, the Emperor, had been cagey, offering only cryptic commands about a sight of profound power and ultimate dominion. Vader, ever the loyal enforcer, had followed, his usual cold ambition stirring, imagining some forgotten Sith artifact, perhaps a weapon of unimaginable destructive force. He was prepared for darkness, for power, for anything but the sheer, unfathomable scale of what now coalesced before him, deep within the churning maelstrom of the planet's core. As the shadowy veils of energy parted, revealing the impossible, a single guttural sound escaped his vocoder, almost a gasp, if such a thing were possible for one so devoid of humanity. Not one Star Destroyer, not 10, not 100, but thousands. A silent, monolithic armada, each vessel a nightmare of engineering, equipped with a planet-killing super laser, emerging from the dark, cavernous depths of Exegol. They hung there, dormant yet menacing, a testament to an ambition so vast, so utterly concealed, that it rendered all his previous understandings obsolete. For years, for decades, Vader had poured his formidable will and his shattered spirit into the vision of the Death Star. It was the ultimate power, the iron fist of the Empire, a symbol of their dominance, and for him, the ultimate instrument through which he would eventually, inevitably, wield the galaxy. He had overseen its construction, reveled in its destructive might, believed it to be the apex of imperial might and the final expression of his master's terror. He had seen himself as the executor of that power, perhaps even its inheritor. But here, on this desolate, forgotten world, the true scale of Palpatine's machinations was laid bare. The Death Star, in comparison to this hidden fleet, was nothing more than a child's toy, a distraction, a grand public spectacle designed to draw attention away from the true, deeper currents of power his master was weaving in the shadows. It was a profound and crushing revelation, one that settled like a lead weight in his already burdened circuits. He had been operating under a profound misapprehension, a carefully crafted illusion of control and influence. The Emperor had never intended for him to be a partner, not truly. He had always been a tool, a magnificent, terrifying weapon, yes, but a tool nonetheless. A means to an end, a shield, a hammer, but never a confidant, never an equal in the grand, insidious tapestry of ultimate power. The depth of Palpatine's deception, the sheer audacity of it, was a bitter draught for Vader to swallow. It wasn't just the existence of the fleet that stung, it was the realization that he, Darth Vader, the feared enforcer, the Dark Lord of the Sith, had been so utterly and completely played. This knowledge solidified his place, not as a nascent co-ruler, but as a perpetual servant. It was a position he had, in the cold logic of the dark side, accepted, but to be reminded of it in such a brutal, undeniable fashion, to see the vast chasm between his perceived role and the Emperor's true vision, ignited a quiet, simmering resentment within him. It was a slow-burning fire that would smolder for years, fueled by this memory of being kept in the dark, of being deemed unworthy of the full truth. The arrogance of it, the betrayal of trust, however twisted that trust might have been between Sith master and apprentice. It wasn't just a fleet of ships, it was a testament to his master's belief that Vader, for all his power and loyalty, could never be trusted with the true scope of his ambition. This moment, gazing upon the silent behemoths of the Sith Eternal, was a dark awakening for Darth Vader. It shattered the last vestiges of a belief system, however faint, that he was ascending, that his loyalty would eventually lead to parity. He was, and always had been, a small part of a much larger, darker plan. A plan that kept him perpetually on the periphery, a pawn in a game whose true rules he was never meant to know. From that day forward, the seed of his ultimate betrayal was sown. The path to true power, to true agency, would not be found in serving the Emperor, but in ultimately supplanting him. The silent promise of Exegol's hidden fleet echoed in his mind. His master would always have a deeper secret, a more devastating weapon, and a more profound deception. And for Vader, the only path to escape this eternal servitude was to extinguish the master himself. This profound moment, tucked away in the deepest corners of the Star Wars galaxy, offers us a fascinating glimpse into the mind of Darth Vader. It highlights the subtle ways in which betrayal can be cultivated, not through a single dramatic event, but through a series of incremental realizations, small indignities, and the slow erosion of trust. It underscores that even the most formidable figures can be vulnerable to deception, and that ambition, when truly understood, often requires breaking free from the very chains that promise to elevate you. What are your thoughts on this hidden chapter of Vader's journey? Do you believe this revelation was a crucial turning point for him? Share your insights and theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deeper dive into the lore, be sure to subscribe and follow for more thoughtful explorations of the Star Wars universe. Thank you for listening.